Okay, what I'm going to try to explain is how on the C5, when we end up losing AC power, how our emergency generator kicks in and supplies us with the 7-bus operation. So for me, it's always good to have a starting point, and then I also like to have, with my starting point, kind of little memory joggers that I use as to what happens next in the system. That way I can flow the schematic, best that I can. Let's see, so I put those on the right, and with that, the first thing that's going to end up happening is we're going to end up losing AC power. And with the loss of AC power here, in those areas, we're going to end up losing power at our emergency AC bus and up here at our main DC bus number 1. And we lose power there, like I said, because we lost AC power coming in to our RTRUs, and our RTRUs convert AC to DC power, then supplying our various buses. And like I said, you can start at either one, the main DC bus number 1 or emergency AC bus. I personally like to start over here at the main DC bus number 1. So what ends up happening is if you follow, find another color, see if red should work. Alright, so we end up losing power here, right? And with the loss of power there, if you flow it, that bus, our main DC bus number 1, had power coming across these contacts here, all the way down, and getting its ground from the beacon.
Rosie, shut up.
Ground being, right there. So then, when that power was lost and no longer there, let me show you. So it had no more power in that area. So these contacts right in here swapped, and we ended up having this contact right there being made. So with this contact made, it provides a ground, and if you follow that ground that's being provided, it goes here, across there, up there. Alright, so it provides a ground for our bat relay number 1. Now as that happened and the beacon sensed that we had a loss of power, it also immediately, with power provided from our hot battery bus, well, it has a fill-in circuit, I guess is the best way to put it. So this fill-in circuit here that comes through the beacon, it provides that fill-in circuit, so our hot battery bus is now powering our emergency DC bus. And the beacon does that automatically internally once it senses the loss of power. And even though it's going to happen so fast with the power swap, I mean, it's like milliseconds that it holds power here from the hot battery bus, but it does it anyway. Alright, back to bat relay number 1. So once bat relay number 1, as you follow it, it got a ground, and if you follow the contacts, let's see, right through there, all the way across, down, down, up, across, up, across, and it makes its way through here, all the way from basically our hot battery bus. So it always has power there, and as soon as it got the ground, these contacts are going to swap right here. Alright, so that's done. So, sorry, I forgot to cross these out. Main DC bus 1 loses power. It was sensed at the beacon. Fill-in circuit was done. The fill-in circuit energizes and powers the emergency DC bus. Then right now we just energize battery relay number 1. Alright. Alright, so the next thing that's going to end up happening, I kind of changed the color a little bit, that way it could break it up. So I'm going to go with red now. So simultaneously, down here, our emergency AC bus lost power. And if you follow the power here, it makes its way through... Oh, I'm sorry. So because we ended up losing power over here, this relay right here lost power. Right? And so when it lost power, at that point, these contacts all swapped. So let me delete that. That way it's easier to see. So loss of power, and all these contacts swapped over. Bam. Right there. Up to here. To here. And up to here. So now that all this has happened, we lost the contacts, or our emergency bus power relay lost power, which then swapped all the contacts, so that's all done. The next thing that's going to happen is battery relay number 2 is going to energize, and that's going to end up being done through one of the contacts that swapped. Pretty sure it's this one, but I'll start at battery relay number 2. So once this ground right here was made, then that relay number 2 had power sitting at it from the hot battery bus, just awaiting a ground. Then if we follow these contacts all the way around, through, we'll find that in here, all the way down, the ground that was provided here is now providing the ground for bat relay number 2, and once that's done, this contact is going to swap over. So battery relay number 2 is now energized. Alright, now the next thing that's going to happen is with these contacts that swapped, we're going to end up with power being able to come around through here, across, and through, and providing power to our GCU control relay. With power there, if we follow this all the way across, we're going to end up with a ground that's provided all the way here. So there's our ground, and once that relay is energized, has power, energized, closes, then at that point we're going to end up with power coming over to our GCU. And basically that wakes up the GCU, tells it that it's in a situation where it needs to start our emergency generator, basically waking it up and starting it up. And then we end up with the emergency generator providing power across here down to, it's providing our 3-phase AC down to here and across here. Once that's done, our GCU, once it checks everything out with the emergency generator, it's going to send power across to the emergency power control relay 1 and 2, energizing them. If you follow them all the way down to here, it has the ground. Once they're energized, these contacts here are going to swap. Then we're going to end up with, so let's see, that was done. The GCU started the HMG, sent the signal to the contactors number 1 and 2, and we end up with AC power making its way across here, all the way across, which is going to energize our also isolated bus power relay. If you follow it all the way across through the contacts, gets its ground.